Hi, this is the Naval Postgraduate School Grant Technical Proposal from probably 2018. Purpose of this grant is to start the USAR Board Apprenticeship Work Study with the Department of Labor and Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineering Trainmen and Teamster fulfilling the FRA criteria CFR 49 Part 243 final ruling conductor certification in Division 216 Tampa, Florida, only with the help of the President Ed McPhail, meeting those state requirements of Florida Department of Education, Department of Labor, and a hybrid curriculum for the research, reporting participants, pre-training, post-training, marks, review, surveying, effectiveness, acceptance of the training material, also recommendation for the implementations for operating crew review board with a rail industry with a project did 2,000 hours candidate on the job 600 hours study hours a quarterly monthly schedule for circular vital milestone of the development of the program and experience encountered with implementing a railway division level, promoting and sponsoring local need for local driven education employment of the metropolitan area. In this case, the postgraduate grant be awarded the apprenticeship will partnership with the several agencies, the Department of Labor, the Florida Department of Education, as well as the Navy to follow regulations and policy, taking survey the apprenticeship program to ensure completion rates, marks, and for research. Make sure sponsored mentor protege program, adequate supervision for apprenticeships by journey worker, ensure safety certification, teaching to work safely and healthy, provide quarterly reports for data reports and evaluations of the apprentice. File reports on specified time schedule, all required operations for the deal with the apprenticeship program, Amtrak, Office of Inspector General, or other agencies take collection, guarantee office management, budget reports, evaluations, ensure recipients have adequate competency to finish reports. In this, this Navy postgraduate grant educational facility equivalent as many as options with the construction lease purchase has no specifics but different advantages. For this case of construction capital outlay is found in the Department Army pamphlet 41528, construction guide, Army real property category codes, funding authorization, Army regulation 3720 coming into effect. Certain laws and contractual obligations for proposing educational facilities in Florida Administrative Code 6A2010 starting charter school capital layout, qualified zones with bonds, having charter school corrective action, school improvements with data item administration 80426 competitive subcontracting report fiscal year construction programs data management construction status management record also promptly payment for the contractor data management 81651 contracting invoice payment report and payment report data management 81945 phase out transition other contractors programs but bidding on the data item management 81911 working management plan with the cost performance management 81467 on the contractor roster data item management 81597 over the contract work breakdown structure of the contract schedule status report over the contract funding assistant report for student required educational facilities following any of the change of the contract or proposal made by the administration, the data administration 81401 item, notice the data management item 81334, construction management data items or DIDs, data item contractor manpower item and data management establish management plan for construction apprenticeship entities and site prepared instruction plan on the site preparation plan to produce highly skilled workers and locomotives making a task assessment plan supplying engineer technical accommodation report. The second thing would be Army Regulation 6211, training military civilian institution schools by Florida Administration Code 62. Florida Education Facilities note that the Florida Educational Institutes can be leased on other learning program purposes. Florida School will be handled the administration for the apprenticeship filing with the U.S. Department of Employment and Training Administration. You may submit the Registered Apprenticeship College Consortium as well as the Registered Employer sponsor such agreement with CSX, organization serving coordinate role to facilitate membership consortium. The option to license Army facility DA Form 833, application building assistance DA Form 4316, a list of private sector railroads, department ancillary plant can come back to and as depots as an ancillary plant can become a second campus. For option hand-on performance on-job training, Historical Railroad Depot may nominate their facilities in which the Army Corps Engineering Railroad Rehabilitation can be taught. As of GPWS, or Guidance Performance Work State, for bus services by Naval Facility Engineering Command, prepared by the Tafting Division, provide locomotive crew busing through rental of public school buses on the side of the schedule and route. Other transportation should be arranged by locomotive and carpooling procedures, travel vouchers, substance allowances for mobile train crew, GSA 3701, travel requisition form. The main goal of the apprenticeship is to train certified mobile depot maintenance data management 80855. The composition will either be constructed, leased, or licensed classroom. Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineering Trainmen and Teamster would create with the Operation Career Review Board and sponsor an employer participation agreements with the Florida Department of Education in the event of the contract fall out of the official year of the military constructed facilities where qualified academic schools, zoning, or bonds are given. They will be naval bonds, and constructed facilities have revert hedgers into the U.S. MAPS school, military school, technical trade school. The faculty side about the DoD instructs issue, the reissue, the lease, the demonstrate, the equipment, and that it would be preserved from its guaranteed and by daily maintenance operatives, and the following instruction of the DoD instruction 7230. Dreaming of the car house, candy shop, passenger car tour on placing desk. In the ancillary labs, such as a computer lab with one ORC, VeriSign, or Denacure online, it serves to serve government pages and or training testing facilities depending on student placement and footage. It could be called the Car House Candy Shop because the learning method I used to do with the individual part of rebuilds, preservation lessons, individual bag candy, and ready to read. Every time they pass a candy bucket or bag or door, our print illustration specification go into the on-the-car equipment. Given one 2-passenger car training facility, a yard is a campus serving construction testing computer lab facility, and given the Florida Administration Code 6810070, discount affordable computers for the DA, the Department of Army Secondary School Service through the Army Knowledge Online. The other option is to rent lease public education facilities. I propose to rent 2 classrooms, portables, 3 days a week, with leasing of the computer rooming over the construction of the barracks in the building. Giving a mail office to handle the publication and documentation. Army Publishing Directory, DA PAMS 2530, searching engine to order the printing, binding equipment from the government. Housing, DA forms required to make the apprenticeship success. Technical order, SCR 333, the media, audio, visual materials, industrial technology, goods and services, Department of Defense Form 592, to cover furnished equipment, inventory reports on first, secondary item data, DoD Form 13381. Crew licensing engineering conductors, brake switchers shall be licensed to perform their functions in accordance with the Navy Fact P300 management, civil engineering support equipment, local requirements of brake switcher, conductor, engineers show, and Appendix D Form 9, 10, and 11, licensed Navy Flag Form 11260-2, construction equipment operator license shall specify the job for which the license has been issued, engineer, conductor, brakeman, switcher. The NCO commission of the activity chain of the command premises of the cadets, student enrollment and assessment, auditing, student employment, and workforce education 3317, with civil and middle division, Department of Defense staffing, DA Form 5, personal qualification screening with dot license TO 00518, railroad equipment department item facilities, I-81451, facility design, 2, railroad bonding competition to serve to safety certs and Navy Coast Guard yard certs, professional engineering training program by Office of State of Highway Engineering, topic 010-00050G can be achieved in single yard certification following Inspector General regulations of the building and fire codes. Education acquisition, Title 48 CFR Part 34, Part 3401 of the Defensive Federal Acquisition Regulations, Education Service Agreement, the Defensive Agreement, the Regulatory System, or DEGARS, changing the defensive authorization regulations, changing the federal acquisition regulations, with the Department of Labor of the apprenticeship program submitted to the Florida Department of Education State Board of the Education Florida Administrative Code 6A23 following apprenticeship agreement terms, the OA RAS Code OSNet Code with several job listings of track maintainer, brakeman, track crew, repair, locomotive driver with the regular transition management, civil engineering support equipment, with hybrid circular federal region local goals of the Florida Department of Education apprentices, with sponsor agreements by basic sponsors, Florida Administration Code 6820131, critical teacher shortage instructional personnel available to the students, Federal Administration Code 6A140491, are expected by the industry by Florida Administration Code 6A4 certification chapter titles educator certification limited teachers even more. I would like journeymen to teach or personal qualification screening, Army staff the DA form with the Inter Inspector General Teaching Specialist. Shores may follow due with the Florida Examination 6A5 Educator Standard Preparation and Performance Troops to Teachers Promising Total Army Performance Evaluation System or TAPES. With state partnership with the Florida Department of Education registered apprenticeship sponsor with the Florida Railroad Museum and Adult Career and Post-Secondary Schooling out of Jacksonville for applicable office apprenticeships within the state of Florida to participating in employer with a state sponsor of Florida Administration Code 6A23 Apprenticeship Florida Administration Apprenticeship Council has been repealed while working with Workforce Investment, WIOA, Work Investment Systems Incorporated, Registered Apprenticeship Program, State of Florida, to be listed U.S. Department of Education Post-Secondary University Database to establish apprenticeship program for locomotives different than an existing apprenticeship, to be the first kind of the United States to ensure funding and maintain documentation for registration for the new programs, form, and record grievances with outcomes. It is stated in the FRA Title 49, Chapter 242, the Conductor Certification File ruling, stating that the journeyman in order for the Operating Crew Review Board have 1 year experience in order to conduct certification with the new conductors, which will probably be dominant ruling towards any apprenticeship program. Also, by the state of Florida, journey worker sponsorship qualification requires Florida Association of Career Technical Educators, or FACT, a 6-hour training course, adult learning system apprenticeship with the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineering Trainmen will act as stakeholders in your young apprenticeship's eligibility for the appointment of the Operation Crew Review Board. Given the Civilian Army Fellowship of the Locomotive House should give the option and enlistment civil sponsor for the NCO, the DA Form 3126, ability application contract establishment journey reserve officer training corps unit, or DA Form 3126, application for the National Defense Cadet Corps unit and ROTC Reserve Force Duty Officer Service Agreement, DA Form 918 or A918A, creating composite enlistment civil entitlements of the Naval Postgraduate Grant of the U.S. Army Reserve Apprenticeship Board. If given the U.S. College University Consortium, the Department of the GARS, Part 22520, military recruiting on campus appropriated, Title 32, CFR Part 22,520 will be incorporated with the university, incorporated with the campus recruiting of the ROTC within the grant awards. For those who have served and can join an apprenticeship program with zero cost at J-Test AI or joint training, employment skill training, apprenticeship and internship for eligible service member to data item management 81547, the Department of Defense Volunteer Education Program, DOD 1322-9, Voluntary Education Program, Military Personnel Management Info System. Each application must be medically examined for the DA Form 2133 statement of medical examination, or have a occupational health assessment, Department of Defense 0503, to be able to determine the applicant meets the certain physical mental needs of the job. Engineer, conductor, brakeman, switchers pass for the medical examination specified Article 1571B with the Navy Med P117. Engineers, conductor, brakeman, switchers, dispatchers have been certified to handle with explosives according to the provision Op Navius 80232C series, which have the course specified applicable dependents for the D Navy Sea Op 5 series and successor practice ambulance life with nearest match facility. Navy binding DA Form 2125 reported training activities required, Railroad 00287 and OSNet Code 53401100, occupational title proposed locomotive engineer, 1,000 hours hybrid diesel mechanic, 0093493031000 8000 time-based line maintainer 0283R49905100 track maintainer electrician maintenance 0643-472-1111-00 8000 time-based welding 0622-5141-2102. A journey worker sponsor for the pilot mentor program, protege met program apprentice under the Defensive Federal Acquisition Regulations Part 21971, a minority institution of higher education with a student body that reflects the composition specified in Section 312 B3, 4, and 5 of the Higher Education Act of 1965, the Title 20 U.S. Standard Code 1058 B, 3, 4, and 5, while the chance for the youth program's educational railroad under the FRA, Federally Protected Children under age 12, gain the Army Institute Professional Development and Track Maintenance for 16 plus youth state to state with establishing Operation Lifesavers, a pre-apprenticeship program, CAA 6077, provide employment with women in the committee based on under DACOWITS or the Department of Defense Directive with the association like a League of Railway Industry Women provide volunteering programs such as Marine Corps Community Service, Naval Community Service, changing the reproducing of the grant and school of the Department of Defense 1616 for the OCONUS DoD Transportation Transfer Professional School outside CONUS for H-1B visas. The apprenticeship will put in labor condition application in the case of H-1B visas, in which the case the employer will have decided necessary to the sponsor should the population apprenticeship meet the baccalaureate degree and or equivalent to meet high standard qualification of the OA listing. Railroad jobs granted with recruitment of H-1B workers will not adversely affect the condition of the employers, the U.S. resident employees in the similar jobs. The L-1 uses the visa more like since creating classes of work overseas foreign railroads to U.S. railroad companies. For instance, overhauling, conversion, maintenance of railway couplers, wheels, determine the D or green cards for Jinx Railroad, predominantly for the kind of soldier, most often Canadian or European. Performing Subpart 231 Contract Cost Principle of the Educational Institute by the Department of Labor 6A10A080 Federal Wage System Grade Standards HRCD2 Laboring Grade 1, 2, 3, 4 Grade 9 Railroad Maintenance Vehicle Operation 5738 TS 28 January 79 TS 38 October 79 Railroad Maintenance Vehicle Operator Grade 5 to Grade 5 to Grade 7 and Grade Maintenance Vehicle Operator Grade 9 Federal 5737 Locomotive Engineer Graded Intermediate Grades 9 using standard journey workermen in an applicable incremental job grading period. Grading pays DA Form 0139 Pay Adjustment Authorization DOD Wage Fixing Authority Appropriate Funds and Non-Appropriated Fund of the Department of Defense Instruction Funds or DOD Instruction Number 512037 the Department of Defense Form 1096 military pay and allowances voucher fulfilling 1,000 hours of Amtrak Army cert training DA Form 004 enlistment DA Form 916 cert of service Department of Defense 350-2001 individual contract activities given to the RRRCI company may handle payroll services out of Jacksonville within CS activities. Florida Administration Code 6823-0004 established journey worker hourly rate means of wage hourly rate paid to all journey worker defined in Florida Statute 4460214. May all hourly participants in apprenticeship program 6823-004 appreciating a apprenticing increased schedule for the wage rules to be paid with the apprenticeship concept with a skill agreed, which shall be expressed on the percentage established journey worker hours rate representation minimum of each incremental period of apprenticeship. Established journey workers hourly rate applicable among all the employers shall be stated in dollars and cents. 2. The entry of the apprenticeship wage is 35% of the established journey workers hourly rate paid partner participating with the program, provided, however, there is no event the apprenticeship wage rate be less than the collective bargaining agreement of Florida statute, whichever is higher. No apprenticeship receiver the hourly wage less than the percentage incremental period in which he or she is serving applies to the established journey worker rate. 4. The established journey worker rates hourly rate is provided for the standard should be reviewed, adjusted annually for the per collection bargaining agreement. The minimum hourly apprenticeship wage rate period during the last incremental period of journey worker rates is 6. This subsection governs the apprenticeship wage shall not be construed in any manners to which would cause conflict with the applicable federal law of the regulations. Minimum entry apprenticeship wage during the incremental period shall be the revenue providing a department, amended with the necessary DO Form 1918 Federal Wage System information. Considering the population apprenticeship, the teamsters like electrician, mechanics would be best enrollment, having the most skilled and qualified trades alike. Welding, Department of Defense, miscellaneous. A0876 welder personal qualification DID miscellaneous 81940 welding professional qualification testing given the welding permits GSA 1755 permit welding cutting brazing welding exam the Department of Defense Form 2758 welding cert cards possible WABU testing or Washington Association building official testing. 6823 show for the need of apprenticeship sponsored in all counties, region of the United States. The CFR 49 Part 240 conductor qualification proposes that there be conductor licensing with a supervisor, locomotives, and supplied to each region or pay a fine of $10,000 each. Cadet, if ignored, using the U.S. Department of the Post-Secondary Accredited Institute with no post-secondary school for the locomotive. I found with the two railroad schools, one of the Army Correspondence Course Program, that this professional development institution demands the F553B Army Institution Professional Development Code for West Point completed in 1 year or a second, which is distant mailing completed in 1 year, a second, which is a distant mailing school offering certificate diplomas due program used in this apprentice hybrid curriculum accredited learning training within the industry federal work study. The Federal Administration Code 623 apprenticeship work study hours are greater than program length. Defense Acquisition Work Improvement Act encompassing all the Defensive and Intelligence Agency development program possible to run program with a pilot. This pilot requests the Army Council Education Program DA Form 5454 teachers receiving smart pay up to $25,000 as CPOL Army AC TEDs similar to a class listed in the Army Act TEDs catalog. With Equal Opportunity Act 1 pledge, American Competitive Workforce Improvement Act 1998, USMJ Justice Code, Inspector General of the Department of Defense Directive 5052, Defensive Acquisition Technology Logistic Workforce Education Training Career Development Program issued January 12, 2005. Hold on to Joint Ethics Regulation and Drug-Free Policies, U.S. Department of Federal Railroad Administration, FRA, also offers a team of counselors to Alternative Dispute Resolution, EAN, counselors with employer and the public. Each applicant must be medically examined the DA Form 2133 statement the medical examiner have the Occupational Assessment DOD Form 0503 to be able to determine the applicant meets certain physical and mental needs for the job. Engineers, conductors, brake switchers shall pass medical examination as specified in Article 1571B of the Navy Med P117. Engineers and conductors, brake switchers, dispatchers shall be certified to handle explosives in accordance with provision of Navius 880 23 2C series shall have the core specified applicable appendix of the Navy C Op 5 series or successor. Practice ambient alert for the nearest match facility. Career paths for the proposed OA career show that a person may have the working knowledge of all the track knowledge found in the many different vocations industry of the work study program. All position they need to know of the track layout, geometry, construction, symbol, the signal over the track design. Students of communication may need to have the working knowledge of loading, bracing, train, dispatching, tonnage capacity, supply logistics. Homeland Security mechanic may have to deal with the aspects of passenger rail car and operation, inspection, assembly, and disassembly. Brake switchers must be yard specialist. Teamsters know how to track standards, be able to change weld, journal cases, and deal with loading and picking up freight cars. Loading engineer has to be an electrician, diesel mechanic, a brakeman, be a brakeman switcher, track engineer, cargo specialist, operator, officer, Homeland Security. Lessons plans for a track crew repair must be filed with a track rehabilitation, turnout, special switches, curves, highway, grade crossings, guard rails, and seasonal maintenance. And special problem of the maintenance away, all positions show for the fundamental railway engineering track elements. Railway operators shall work in the rail yards, knowing the yard operation, duties of yard personnel, safety surrounding all the yards. Apprenticeship need to know the principal superiority of the trains to follow the train, or the basic vocabulary, railway rules and terms and types of trains, and movements and controls identified operated with the Army Railway. Equipment, diesel, locomotive, and the rolling stock. The diesel, electric, understand with the mechanical, structural, electrical system maintenance and repair, mechanical maintenance, repair, file, electrical maintenance, repair, troubleshooting. Apprenticeship working today need to have the disorientation. Every job dealing with railroad operation and theater to perform job accurately. Most conductors are actually the deputies of the Homeland Security. Some technical manuals have to read before the judge becomes a public commission. Sometimes the railroad listed with the utility. Opening badges, the Opsman OR, Federal Railroad Police Title 22, U.S. Standard Code Chapter 33, Railroad Street Railway Police, where required appointment in an office of and an oath of office of powers and duties, compensation, and liabilities, along with the cause to terminate. The defense of the federal acquisition regulations, changing federal acquisition regulations standards from government assessment, government accounting standards with the grant of the hybrid curriculum, federal local goals of Florida Department of Education, principal sponsor agreement, participation, education facility, ancillary plant over the private partnership, federal railroads, reimbursement, test assessment, filling, civil, voluntary, federal army staffing, administration, adult career, post-secondary school. In the Department of Defense Extent PM Program Management Guidebook, the charter to conduct a grant focusing on the goals and milestones, outcomes and outputs and outcomes. Army Regulation 621-1 training military at civilian institution administration staffing consists of 1-4 responsible. The Deputy Chief of Staff of the G1, Deputy Chief of Staff of G1 will develop policy pertaining with the civilian schooling program. Deputy Chief of Staff G3, the Deputy of Chief of Staff will assume the overall supervisor responsible for training covered with regulation. Chief of the Army Reserve, the Chief Army Reserve will develop a policy pertaining to civilian school programs. Active Guard Reserve personnel, separate guidance will be published annual. The Director Annual National Guard, the Director Army National Guard will develop a policy pertaining to the civilian school programs. The AGR personnel, separate guidance will be published annually. Heads of the training agency, heads of the training agency will provide personnel to meet with the plan requirements. Commanders of the Army commands and several component commands, direct units. These commanders validate position of the Army officer for the specific civilian education according to the AERs as Army Regulation 621. 108. Superintendent of the United States Military, the Superintendent of the U.S. Military Academy will coordinate advanced degree training prospective members of the United States Military Academy faculty. U.S. Army Military Academy Adjunct General. The U.S. Military Academy Adjunct General will execute annual advanced degree of the programs to support U.S. Army Military Academy Blue Book requirements. Director of U.S. Army Acquisition Support Center. The Director of U.S. Army Acquisition Support Center will coordinate advanced degree within training within the industry programs for the Director of Acquisition Career Management. Commanding General U.S. Army Human Resource Command. The Commanding General U.S. Army Human Resource Command will execute the Advanced Civil Schooling Program, manage AERs, a database for the Army Authorization Document System. Approve nominations and issue the signing instructions, directing assignment of travel to and from the schooling. 4, appropriate the district approve the required waivers. Develop the budgeted estimates to manage for the execute annual budget. 6, provide instruction payment of schools related to expenses. And K, Commanding General U.S. Army Training Doctrine Command Superintendent U.S. Military Academy Commandment and U.S. Army War College President of the National Defense and Intelligence College. These will provide military administration of all students assigned to and attached to their headquarters, including promotion, pay, discipline, medical care, supply, transportation, processing, academic reports, Army Regulation 623, leaving absent supply of the DA form, publication, study with the maybe the correspondent directly with the headquarters to which assigned or attached matters affecting the duty of the assignment. Students to have the defense of the attaché office or DAO, the forward all office of the correspondent with the defense of the attaché office. Florida Administration Code 681, forming a contracted instructional professional administrative personnel, other personnel, DA Form 3356-1, U.S. Army Reserve Board Apprenticeship Work Study Implementation Army Staffing AA Form A5, Florida Administration Code 6822009, employing responsible to DOD Form 1262, Administrative Service Request for the Florida Administration Code 6819009, Personal Data Item Management Intern Document with Student Employment Hands-on GSA 55015, Human Response, Florida HR Human Response, Florida Administration Code 6811070, the Teacher Aid Volunteers for Instructional Personnel of the Department of Defense Instruction 134215, Educational Advisory Committees and Councils. Florida Administration Code 6A10015, appointment of committee of the board organization of the PA to hold a monthly, bi-monthly conference of the program implementation, changing contract revisions, existing government documents, contract change proposal, competitive subcontracting report, conference of the record with the minutes of the agenda, with the compliance with the minute records of the meeting, the following with the conference report with the organizational rules, procedure for the Form 6, Federal Administrative Code 6A16, state purpose, providing listing number, index, final order, maintains maintenance of the rule, making eligibility management, index, final orders, reporting information, state board, educational designated officer, reporter, handling authority for the rule, making index management, final orders, data item underneath, data item safety, shall have system of safe hazards and safe hazards and credentials. Safety boards shall also make assessment reports and health hazard reports for the contractor performance reports. Do safety studies given a safety certs. Teach threat and hazard assessment. Give some waivers, requests, exemptions, safety regulation, data item safety 81175. Make accidents and incident reports, awarding practice and procedure recognizes safety. The administration shall file the section form Administration Code 6A1 financial administration purposes. Administration shall keep the district financial record, data collected, activity, instrument forms, and instructions. Also maintain a minimum security with electronic deposits. The administration shall have a comprehensive management system. The administration shall fit in the school district budget, shall execute the budget and make the budget amendments. Shall the document keep the financial statement filed with the purchasing policy, post the official year of the report each year of the school of the district, annual reports, project construction, accounting, capital outlay, projects carried over the charter school, and a charter apprenticeship holding financial statement, the financial conditions, red book, categorized funds, categorical program, fund relations, promotions, in public. The staff of supplement educational service Title I schools under the evaluation supplemental education service providers. Evaluation standard grant over the contract with the defensive contracting agency. Following audit standards of the outline the Office Management Budget Circle A133. Defense Contract Audit Agency and the United States Army Audit Agency, filing Florida Administration Code 6A1 Financing Administration Educational Audit Programs 6A10453 and audits of the Direct Support Organization Form Florida Administration Code 6A10013, the AICAP Accounting Standard Florida Administration Code 614060, as well as maintaining auditable FTE records under Florida Administration Code 6A1045513 with the Cost Accounting Standards Board Disclosure Statement, Public Law 10679, Educational Institute Office Management Budget 03480055, Contemplate Department Data Item Contract Management 80556A, Configuration Audit Pilot 4. Amtractor Inspector General shows all audit documents searching engine. Some audits that can be applied with out of 100 are human capital and civil awards as appropriate, both of the payment of the control of the Office of Inspector General A 2015-009, training employee development E0906, assessment of project risk associated with key engineering projects 9122010, Amtrak Strategic Planning E10001, Strategic Assessment Management Program, opportunities to improve and implementation of lessons learned, Office of Inspector General E 2012-012, Annual Financial Statement Audits, Observation, Improving the Oversight of the Independent Public Accountant, Office of Inspector General A 2012-0171, filed for the audit process for the achievement of compliance with the American with Disability Act 013-2013, Audit Engagement Memo, Accounting Business Line Operations 011-2015, Acquisition Procurement Gateway Project Program Projects have certain costs scheduled. Office of Inspector General A 2015-02002, Audit of Grant Agreement, Next Generation Equipment Committee with the material complied with the Team Grants Agreement, Office of Inspector General A 2013-011. Establish the project narrative of the transition, first phase 1, procure establishment program plan, with which is 18 months in which the initial school started, build and administration. Start classes and see recruitment quota with a proper amendments to change the facility with the apprenticeship program, produce annual statements of funds, none of the parts of the plan failed and succeed plan program implementation, make use schedule funds to the amount of the plan, phase 1 12-month data item financial 81789 and 81831, phase 2 12 months, milestone 1 first official 3 months is to make the list of sponsors and employers to participate in federal work study program that is meet with the number of the apprenticeship skill for the level with the industry jobs requirements to receive approval from the Florida Department of Education program sponsors establishment, employment, and apprenticeship. Assure the full participation evaluation of the Army Accreditation Council, Education Services, Transcript, Services, Technical Assistance, Service provided by the Department of Labor, milestone created, design, fiscal year with the capital outlay, Florida Administration Code 681402, school layout, designing annual report to Department of Defense Form 20 DoD 2030 active task list, capital cost out of money, milestone funds, creating the state required educational facilities. 1. Project objective: the minimum of 24 consecutive additional years of the officers working towards a doctoral. The training within the industry, U.S. Army Reserve Apprenticeship Board reporting quarterly and annually. Term of the training within the industry quarters in milestone: 1. Doctoral cadet candidates permitted with a maximum of 3-year residence with completion of the preliminary research coursework, comprehensive exams, active duty certificate obligation for the doctoral candidates will be calculated for the period of residence study in accordance with the AR 350-100. Upon the end of Phase 2, we will be allowed all but dissertation, the doctoral research dissertation completion in conjunction with the AARS utilization assignment of duties with the student having attended 3 years Phase 1 study. Training within the industry funds will be produced and designed to provide training or skill for the best business procedure practices not available to the existing military advanced civilian school program that is identified by the Department of Defense requirements. Service members selected to participate in the training within the industry receive the training within 12 consecutive months, reducing learning details throughout the recording learning details and throughout the explicit identifiable knowledge about railroads, Army Regulation 62110. Resting training with the industry assignment positions will be complied with submitted with the DA form staff agencies ACOM, ASCC, DRU, and other Army activities. The requirement of the existence of the Army personnel with training within the industry experience with the Department of Defense agency. The agencies will also submit a request in order to develop a sufficient training program to support all requirements imposed within the Army. A conjunction annual AER reviews requesting training within the industry training position change will be evaluated in accordance with the current external utilization review board guidance. Employer colleagues facilitating statement of work with state rail plans, Federal Railroad Administration attachment 3 of the website passenger freight rail plan falling under Passenger Rail Investment Improvement Act of 2008. The ARRAHISPR statement of work plan have high-speed intercity passenger rail track 1B projects within and without and National Environmental Protection Agency ARRAHSIPR track 1A and 4 projects statements of the Federal Railroad Administration applied in the state of Florida. The Department of Defense 101 following with the budget narrative of the Red Book object for the function codes during the phase amendment of the budget narrative of the Department of Education 151 project request amendment the Department of Education 150A project disbursement report financial program costs of accounting of the Florida schools as well as the accounting manual for the community colleges in the state of the Florida automated management. Department of Education 960 requests working capital release and payment of the federal funds to use the need for the program phase. A state program, state project management with the data item management 81466 transition plan 80790 phase support plan DI analysis 800 37B to file with the project brochure, the data item contract to date 10398. A statement of needs and program and addendum support plan available written amendment to project milestone departments for the Department of Education 101 following the budget narrative Red Book object function codes during phase amendment of the budget narrative Department of Education 151 project request amendments of the Department of Education 150A project disbursement report financial program costing accounting for Florida schools as well as accounting manually for the community colleges and state Florida automated management subsystem of the Department of Education 960 request of the working capital release payments federal funds used with the need of the program phase cash advance reporting disbursement statement, the reconciliation Florida Department of Education Bureau Comptroller used in plan phase of the program capital outlay official year of the military construction of the state required education facility. The milestone of the first official 3 months is to take a list of sponsors and employers to participate in federal work study program. This will be the number of the apprenticeship skill level of the industry with the job requirements to receive the approval of the Florida Department of Education program sponsors establishment employment of the apprentice sure of the full participation evaluation accredited council education services transcripts of technical assistance services by Department of Labor milestone created design fiscal year of the capital outlay Federal Administration Code 6A1402 school layout design annual report to Department of Defense 2030 active task list capital costs of the milestone found find or milestone find and create state required educational facilities. Fiscal year U.S. Army Reserve Apprenticeship will hire Tigers AICAP for disclosure statements, office budget, and general info to direct costs, indirect costs, depreciation, youth allowance, other costs, and credits. Performing a deferred compensation, insurance costs, a central system group expense for the use to highlight the red books and full notation of the contents of this grant is disposable to private nonprofit organization of the Department of Labor. Following funding freedom of information from Tigers of the Amtrak's attorney with the help of the licensor in litigation of the policy of the issuance of the preparation of the contracts. Amtrak Tigers participate in legal issues, tax, and financial statement and pushing the AR, promoting the apprenticeship of the newspaper and schools. Provided with the Army Ideal Excellent Proposal DA Form 1045 of the Grant Jinx Fort Belvedere to Defense Acquisition Universal Proposal High Mobility Mobile Command, while duplication corporate books and records of the apprenticeship program of the RRCI contacts of the Thomas Net Railroad Registry Heritage listing across the United States building apprenticeship halls of all the counties regional well and participate with holding preemptive the rights to duplicate the Department of Defense Form 0844 requests local duplication service under the partnership of the Department of Labor. The Blue Book Volume 1 states that the education facility eligible for the 2 and financial aid that must be exultant with the associated bachelor's degree vocation trade school with 500 hours of classroom hours. Given the apprenticeship of the curriculum, classroom, and the study hours could equate with the 600 hours of reading Department of Tactical Manuals 8181-3A book plan. Course conversion and course modification for Administration Code 6A05291 being accepted college course for the degree having general education core course option Florida Administration Code 6A14030 achieved in some other institution. Get Trade Act Army web-based course the corresponding Army Professional Institute development given the higher credential school credits for the subcourse and Transportation West Point Institute School Code 553. Enrollment requires you to finish all subcourses with 1 year. These subcourses make up 100 credits of the hybrid. Other certifications credits may come with a distance mail called off with the textbooks ordered by the Railway Education Bureau. Chief of the Department of Education TSL 2000 Index of the Department of Energy Standards of the Learning Taught by the Department of Defense Navy TRAMEN is the Navy course where they institute pay raises for the completion of subcourse or technical manual reading. For Army for accredited council education credentials, service of the military occupational expense for the Department of Defense equivalent under job school training with a powerful scan trip permitted with the title by CFR 243 conductor certification maneuver background statement the Department of Transportation for repairing and part coupling and braking credential locomotive. The Florida Administration Code 6A14092 textbook affordability. Department of Defense Technical Manual 8181-3A book plan for job manual. The technical manual, the other item technical manual services given the technical manual organization plan, book plan, validation plan, testing program, manuals. A trusted facility manual with technical manual certification, keeping a list of the hand and receive the annex manual with the required job manuals, ordering SCR 333 from the DA for the technical order media files operation, service installation, depot maintenance illustration, prints, and inspection checklist free of a 3.5-inch floppy disk. The technical manual cost report $50 per student equivalent to 50 Army Institute professional exam testing a set of the textbooks from the Railway Education Bureau as a wholesale cost of the textbook 520 library books, Red Book 610, Red Book 620, audio visual materials on the Department of Data item financial 80729A, publication cost report and UDIT 2139 logging operator on the equipment. Con issued Red Book 1289 accredited computer. The acquisition of logistic technology integration office of the following contract approval process cited Smart Pay with the CERP card with the GTA number 900117 project recognized by the Naval Postgraduate BAA Announcement Board. Project proposal acquisition projects amended with a purchase report the commitment the scope of the work with the estimated cost per repair timeline when given an endorsement with local office. Advance of the project goes to the legal review of the BNPRT RT commander and approval of the brigade commander required with the division commander and the corps commander for the approval of the project. Then the project is submitted to approve of the project request is given the comptroller of the comptroller. Then the comptroller commits and funds are required with the contracting officer's award of the contract. The fund is contracted to go to the purchasing and project purchasing officer's list bids within the purchase required of the commitment amount. Project purchase officer selects the best bids based on the base value unit criteria awards, given the memorandum agreement and contract with the vendor. Paying agent draw over the funds with the financing office in which the representative of the project purchasing officer inspect for the project progress of the project purchasing officer. Paying agent provides program progress payments for the contractor according to the established schedules. Preparing the final payments on using contact project handoff to the local authorities while paying the agent clearly projects the financing officer for the move of the project purchase officer clears project file of the project approving the commanding of the process may be modified, accommodated local policies, performance in each of these steps may be varied in commandment. Department of Department of Defense Education Agency with the PG 14 PGRMD 013 Implementation Tuition Collection Management System. Department of Defense Instruction 1425 Volume 250 Department of Defense Civilian Personnel Management System Volume 250 Civilian Strategic Human Capital Planning. With augmentation of this grant, I adhere to the updated policies, procedures given to the approval of the monitoring research involved with the Department of Defense Education activity, school personnel, school facilities, students, sponsors, and or data. All research conducted harmonization event with the Navy postgraduate announcement should adhere to recognize ethical standards of conduct. All research conducted in apprenticeship employed with the and or private organization, individual institutions not under contract shall have the administrative instruction. All research conducted in the grant proposed shall be assigned aligned with the Navy Postgraduate Board Agency Research Initiative and or agencies. Research conducted done by Armization U.S. Army Reserve Apprenticeship Board Naval Agency shall unduly affect the students and employee and the duration of the research. All research conducted with the proposed apprenticeship shall be aligned with the research initiative following the guidelines of the Department of Defense Education Agency Administrative Instruction 20713 Research Approval Process. The efforts of building an apprenticeship program in Tampa to meet with the final ruling set with the Code Federal Regulations of the Conductor Certification Program Region Title 49 CFR Part 242 goes under the Regulation Conductor Certification. This was to be accomplished for the Union President, Ed McPhail. I spoke to him with cooperative agreement. He assured the assistance following the regulation of my efforts. I also took the Federal Railroad Administration Railroad Safety Specialist Operation Crew Certification. Joseph D. Riley of the U.S. Department of Transportation approved of the hybrid curriculum conductor final ruling. Other final ruling not having the conductor certification program finable knowing $20,000 to $10,000 unwillingly under the Title 49 Part 243-101. Using the term of cooperative agreement, a grant executive of the agency branch of the Navy for the post-making license issuing with the United States Navy the property for principal purpose for the U.S. Army Reserve apprenticeship for public purpose of the proposed grant instead of the acquiring by purchase, lease, or barter the property instead of the direct benefit of the Naval Postgraduate Research Initiative grant with the items and instruments such as the tracks for the ancillary and plant or second campus grant for the lease for the Department of Defense Education building issuance for the study. The reasons I say the conductor is now certified by the Naval Cert Yards or particular part of the track or profile should anything fall within that will be unowned by the U.S. Naval bonds for the United States government, the U.S. Army Reserve track and Reserve apprenticeship funding authorization financial performance carried out with the annual audits. The government property and government furnished equipment and facilities existing with a permissible accommodate where the employees are unfurnished employers unfurnished can be applicable. These facilities are resourceful, high cost, and great demand, and resources are high cost and great demand of different outlets of the program. The use of these facility resources negotiated as the program unfolds for success. Alright, data item ILSS, course conduct support document. The student will work with the two educational providers of web-based course, the Army Institution Professional Development Administrator of the GET TRADOC, General Education Training documentation of the Army. Other will be distance mail, the wholesale textbook provided with the library of the Railway Education Bureau certificate and credits. There may be the two educational providers. There are a majority of the credits a hybrid, but that all. The proposed curriculum for the operating crew review board will be one mandated. The hybrid keeps the American the apprenticeship log deal for the equipment restoration and depreservation file with the book plan validation certification plan with 20 book plans and hours spent with the study with the two educational providers listed reported to be around 500 study hours. Hands-on skills such as brakeman, engineering, maintain will work study. The following credited military software list as follows: AKO Core 3.0, ATCTS Army Training Certification Tracking System, Army Training Help Desk, right now 7540, Army Working Capital Fund Workbook Application AWCF 7.0, Audit Masters version 3, Budget Builder 9.0, Civilian Automated Training Tracking Software 1.0, Civilian Mobilization Tracking System 1.0, Civil Personnel Outline, or CPO, Civil Personnel Online 1.0, Defense Military Office DMO 4.0, Depot Workload Resource Management, Client Application 1.0, Railer version 6.0, TRADOC Budget Guidance 6.00067, United States Army Corps Engineering Facility Equipment Maintenance, U.S. Field Facility and Equipment Maintenance Systems, U.S. FEMS 3.0, U.S. Army Application Directory 1.0, U.S. Army Cost Estimating Tracking 1.0, Other Applicable Certification Database of 3,000. This is announcement of the done of the applies cooperative agreements and intellectual property statement, the clauses in the grant instructions. Secondary to the federal student aid software, financial aid. Federal financial aid is if given in the master school with identified secondary school eligible to financial aid other than administrative guides of the reference federal student aid under U.S. Department of Education as follows given with the reference guide, COD technical reference, CPS testing, direct loan references, and tool, EDE technical reference, EDE Express, federal Pell Grant program technical reference, GA database, data prep, loan discharge, TLF submittal software, NSLDS enrollment submit, existing counsel and gainful employment submittal with the FISAP reference and software, renewal of FAFSA process guide, SAR, ISIR components, cover the text, ISIR analyst tools, school electronic process guide, Perkins data prep software, student web application products process guide, quality assurance program, summary of change to application processing system, renewal application return title 4 fund software, TD community manager, TDCM user guide, XML, ISR, SAIG mailbox software manual, ED connect, TD client, TDCM, SCR, Sun Java runtime environment. This program to the school administrator with the program financial aid reason there. I also agreed no statement in cooperative agreement instructions since the fact of no technical data or software is our intellectual property. The student fees are out of the Red Book permit excess of the tuition books rent fund for services 3541, 3542, 3544. Sorry. 35, 41, 35, 42, and 53, 54 students serve as the audit covered education course fees, post-secondary vocation fee, continued workforce education fee, post-secondary lab fees, bus service and other school service school fees, and general other fees of Florida Administration Code 681099, fees for programs and classes not part of regular fees of the program, class not part of regular public schools, Federal Administration Code student float, fees 6A14051, student fees 6A10044, residential for residency for tuition 6A14052 in Florida Administration Code 6A19003 health for the DA form 6A190 for DA health for the DA staffing Florida Administration Code 6A19005 student financial assistance is not to be implemented under the first official year of the candidate. Financial aid becomes the blue book based on the 500 hours of study of the test pilot year before capabilities of vocational school as a 2-year degree equivalent. Main objective of the ACE of the curriculum addressing the Board Application Commission Circular School, the lead sponsor for the Army Council for the Education, American Council of Education Agenda for the Apprenticeship of the Time and Labor of the Army, ACE Council of Education are Acteta's accredited transcripts of the services and systems automated learning ACCP Army Correspondence Course Program Frontiers and Army Knowledge Professional Development Education Grandfathering Rail and Track Maintenance Corresponding Enrollment, the Technical Automated Management System, registering USA jobs as scholars, and training of the military occupational specialists that merits and matters of Don Russ ROTC and MROTC genealogy, and pediology. If deemed permissive, is as research and journey of all things railroad with the apprenticeship partnership, the Department of Labor filed with the regulation and policy with the provided support with apprenticeship to ensure completion rate. Make sure that the sponsored pen mentor program, protege program, adequate supervised apprenticeship with the journey workers, ensure safety through certification, teaching working safely and healthily. Providing quarterly reports with data reports, evaluation of the apprenticeship file reports, specify the time, schedule, all required operation with the deal with the apprenticeship, Amtrak, Office of Inspector General, and other agencies to collect and guarantee Office of Management budget required reports and evaluations, ensure recipient receipts, so ensure recipients have adequate competency to finish reports. And that was my naval. I wrote this Navy postgraduating school grant a long time ago, about 7 years ago.